A company in Shanghai has filed a lawsuit against Apple. It claims it was the innovator of voice assistant technology similar to Siri. The company is telling Apple to stop producing, selling, and using Siri products, which includes almost all of Apple's devices.
A Chinese intelligence company has filed a patent infringement lawsuit against Apple. If successful, it could prevent Apple from selling many of its products in China, its second most important market. The Shanghai Zhijin Intelligent Network Technology Company argued that Apple's voice recognition technology, Siri, infringes on a patent it applied for in 2004 and was granted in 2009. Shanghai Zhijin is calling for $1.4 billion in damages. The lawsuit is the latest in a conflict that's gone on for nearly a decade. Shanghai Zhijin first sued Apple for patent infringement in 2012 over its voice recognition technology. Last month, China's Supreme People's Court ruled that the patent was valid. But a former Chinese judge told the Wall Street Journal that the current court could still find the underlying technology different enough to rule in Apple's favor.
New York City's shutdowns hit the for-hire industry big time, with tens of thousands of drivers calling it quits. But a report by the city shows that the industry is making a recovery slowly. NTD's Miguel Moreno has more on that, and an Uber driver who didn't let the shutdowns completely stop him.
I clean it 2-3 times a day. You get tired sometimes. There's a lot of cleaning, you know.
Raul Rivera has given rides in New York for 5 years. It's how he makes a living.
Well, 5 years, 4 different apps, over 15,000 trips. That's not easy to do.
But for him, other for-hire drivers, and cabbies' business went downhill after the pandemic came down on the economy. A report from the city shows that the number of these drivers dropped from March to April by a whopping 70% following the shutdowns. The report didn't specify why these essential workers were calling it quits.
No, I think mostly they were listening to what government was saying. Government was saying go home, stay home. And everybody did that. The city shut down. It was a ghost town.
But according to the report, the industry is slowly healing, with both rides and earnings picking up. Rivera says he's making more now than what he was making in April, but still coming up short by hundreds of dollars. He says he hasn't stopped working since the crisis began, and many times took physicians to the front lines.
I was at Albert Einstein Hospital. I was there a bunch of times. 3 o'clock in the morning, I took a frontline worker. He was in the scrubs and everything. He was sick. He was having trouble breathing. I felt a little compelled to help, you know.
But he's also looking out for his fellow drivers, being a fierce activist by day.
I created a petition to reform this commission. We need drivers on this panel.
He's petitioning the city to regulate companies like Uber and Lyft to let drivers keep 85% of every dollar they earn. According to Ridester, Uber keeps 25% of each fare and Lyft keeps 20%. Rivera says drivers didn't make enough before the pandemic and they're not making enough now. Miguel Moreno, NTD News, New York.
An encouraging sign for America's economy. U.S. manufacturing surged to a 15-month high, according to a key business activity indicator. It also beat economists' expectations.
Manufacturing in America is rebounding. The Institute for Supply Management, or ISM's manufacturing index, surged to a reading of 54.2% in July, beating expectations. Anything above 50 shows growth. The July number is the highest since March 2019. It plunged to an 11-year low in April. The ISM said the manufacturing gauge shows continued rebuilding of economic activity, but the recovery seems to be slowing down. From May to June, the index surged 9.5 percentage points, but between June and July, it gained a more modest 1.6 percentage points. This fuels speculation about the sustainability of the economic recovery in manufacturing, especially in light of a CCP virus resurgence in parts of the country. The chief U.S. economist at High Frequency Economics said, quote, "Manufacturing is recovering from low levels, and the outlook is uncertain, given the threat of repeated disruptions from virus outbreaks." ISM's other manufacturing indicators also show that manufacturing is bouncing back. Manufacturing accounts for about 11% of the U.S. economy.
And Trader Joe's has reversed course on its ethnic-sounding label names like Trader Jose's and Trader Ming's. Last month, the company said it would update the names after a high school student posted a petition on change.org. The student said the names perpetuated harmful stereotypes.
Trader Joe's says it won't change the names of some of its products after an online petition accused them of being racist. It's a reversal from last month when the chain said it would make some updates. But it decided to stick with labels like Trader Jose's and Trader Ming's for Mexican and Asian food. A company statement said, quote, "We want to be clear. We disagree that any of these labels are racist. We do not make decisions based on petitions." The company said it thought the names could be fun and show appreciation for other cultures. Trader Joe's spokeswoman said it has dropped some names over the years, like Arabian Joe's and Armenian Joe's, and it might drop some more names in the future. But it will only make decisions based on input from employees and customers, not on the petition.
7-Eleven's parent company is buying the Speedway gas station chain from Marathon Petroleum. Japanese retail giant 7&I Holdings is paying $21 billion for the chain. The cash deal is one of the biggest acquisitions in the world announced since the pandemic hit. 7&I Holdings says it's the largest in the company's history. In addition to 21,000 convenience stores in Japan, 7&I also has nearly 9,800 stores in the U.S. and Canada. Shares of 7&I dropped nearly 9% in Monday trading over the steep price tag of the deal. A retired gymnastics coach holds on tight to his passion for the sport. He's bringing his expertise to a park in New York City, and now people come here for the team atmosphere. NTD's Melina Weiskup takes us there to check it out.
You could probably still catch the 68-year-old doing gymnastics at this park 10 years from now. For Phil, it's just a way of life.
Movement actually releases stress. Movement actually gives you another perspective of life. Movement in itself is its own medicine, psychologically as well as physically.
Bulla coached gymnastics for decades. Since retiring, he's been inspired to bring the gym outdoors. He'll teach anyone who has the desire and grit to learn.
But I can see when somebody wants to try, and I help them. And that's the simple truth.
He and Alex met a while ago. Now he's training for a calisthenics competition. Their talk about fitness quickly blossomed into a friendship. Because for this coach, helping people learn new tricks isn't just for the sake of building skills. It's about cultivating a good atmosphere and uplifting people.
So you go to the person, let me see if I can show you how to get this particular move. Voila, they get it, they're inspired. They want to do it again. Before you know it, they're saying hi to you, even if I don't know the names.
Most everyone who comes here knows Phil. They come here for community connection and an organic, team-oriented atmosphere.
What I like about this park is that everybody's on the same wavelength and everybody shares. People are connected, they communicate with each other. You know, they show some camaraderie.
Very nice, interesting people and also good friends, you know. Sometimes it's hard to motivate myself by myself, so people are here to actually push me to my limits. Like, you can do it, you got it. So it's like, feels very safe and a family vibe.
Indeed, it's a unique park with unique people. And the people who come here say there's only one like it in all of New York City. Melina Weiskup, NTD News.
A new method of gardening is budding. It supposedly uses 80% less water than traditional methods. What's the secret ingredient? Old mattresses.
In the Middle Eastern desert, Jordan's small oasis of greenery dot the landscape. Plants and herbs like mint, tomatoes, and cucumbers are thriving despite the infertile land. They grow thanks to two simple elements, water and some old mattresses. It's an adaptable planting method that does not require soil. Instead, foam from old mattresses are placed in small recycled cups along with a seedling and some water. The cups are then suspended in pipes with water flowing through them. Syrian refugees working with experts from University of Sheffield and the UN Refugee Agency used the method to grow lush vertical gardens in the Zatari refugee camp.
Plants are living organisms just like us. They breathe and drink water. So watching the greenery grow and seeing the effort you put in develop and transform into produce, this makes you feel happy and proud.
The UN Refugee Agency says the hydroponic system is water efficient. It consumes 70% to 80% less water than traditional methods.